Hello guys and welcome back to the Live Strong podcast. My name's Olivia and I am the founder and the head coach of Live Strong, a gym in Newcastle. We do group training, we do personal training. This podcast is about all sorts of things. I've gone a bit off script with my intro. I've given up on the intro, I think, guys. If you're a long-term listener of the Live Strong podcast, because guys, I've nearly done 50 episodes of this thing. And I appreciate everyone who has listened to these 50 episodes because damn straight can be slightly chaotic. For those who don't know, I started the podcast because one, it was something that I wanted to do. I love podcasts. I listen to at least a podcast a day. It's one I have in my ears when I'm doing admin work, which I do, let's say, a minimum of 3 hours up to 6 hours a day. So I can get through a lot of podcasts, right? And I love listening to people rave on with shit. I also find them a really easy way to inform a lot of people. And not that I think that I'm someone who's reaching a super broad audience. However, I do have, my audience is big to me, which is my gym community. And I would like to give all of my clients as much information as I possibly can. And sometimes just chucking me on in your car can be a great way to learn a few little bits and bubbles. So I started it with not that much, not much of an idea. Actually, it took me a really long time to learn how to upload a podcast because it was super confusing. You got to run it through this podcast, a different platform. You'd think you just be able to upload to Spotify, but you can't. So anyway, moral of the story is, I think I need a new intro. I need to get a jingle or something happening that I can just add on. Wouldn't that be good? The Live Strong podcast. Ba-ba-da-cha. Nah, that'd be lame. Anyway, moral of the story is, hi, how you going? I'm really chilled today. I'm sitting back. I've even written notes down. I did it already this morning to get organized. And I have myself a little iced coffee made at home. If you're watching at home, you can see I do have a Christmas cup because I keep them out all year. You could say because it's nearly Christmas, but let's be real, I don't put them away. Delicious, guys. Now, today we're going to be talking about something that's going to be informative, right? You can see it in the title. We're going to be talking about how everything isn't about your body image. Now, we'll get into that after. That's what all this piece of paper is about because I've been writing some points so I don't rave on too much to you all. But let's start with my highs and my lows for this week. And I've already thought about these, so you'll be proud of me for that. My high for this week has been my training. Now, I know I've been quite negative about my training, I think, the past few months, which I've become aware of myself. I've also become aware because people are speaking it back to me about how I've sounded about my own training. And I think I lost my sparkle with my training a bit this year. I live in my own delusional headspace, most of the time, where my expectations of myself and everything is high. But again, I don't think everyone always thinks like this, and I don't think you need to think like this to be successful as well. But sometimes I just believe that I can do those things. Yeah. I think of myself as that higher level person, if that makes sense. I don't know if that really did make sense. And so that would happen with my training. I'd be yeah, I'm training really hard and, I'm feeling really strong. I would say those things because I was taking those actions. I'd step into the gym and I would be, headphones in, mean business, serious shit, push as heavy as I can, blah, blah, blah. But the past few months, I feel I've lost a bit of that drive and I was starting to feeling I was oh, well, I'm not that good. I'm not recovering well. I'm not sleeping enough and then I'm not pushing enough and I'm injured and all these fucking shit shows. I needed to snap out of it. So I wouldn't say I've fully snapped out of the negative headspace, but these past few weeks, I'm starting to find my mojo. I'm currently in the last week of a training block that I've been doing. And in case you wanted to know, look, we're already rambling, guys, but I'm on a time crunch today, so I can't ramble too much. But I've done heaps of cardio and fitness this year, but I'm trying to strip myself back to my strength training. So I'm only just doing 4 strength sessions a week. I'm doing 2 upper and 2 lower days. My lower days are having like a core emphasis at the end. So I'm doing like a core focus movement or movements at the end of my leg days. And then at my end of my, upper days, I'm doing like a 8-minute sort of like cardio machine sort of push. The same cardio push for all upper days and throughout the whole training block. So I'm sort of like progressing with that cardio at the end of my upper day as well. So I'm still being able to have like a full solid strength session and then working on a few things of weakness for my core and then still sort of having a bit of a push in my cardio sense, just a little bit on those upper days. And then I'm just doing 1 30-minute run with the run club a week. That's all I'm doing. Where in the past few months, nearly all year, because I did wedding deficit, which I was doing 2 runs a week and a cardio session and then 3 strength sessions, I think. And then we did Hyrox, which was like 2 gym sessions, 2 full body strength sessions and 2 runs. So this is like training 6 times a week. And then we did the marathon training and I think I was doing 3 gym sessions, 2 runs. Maybe that was it. I was doing 5 or 6, I can't remember. And then I've like just burnt out and in the ground at the moment. So this is the first time I've stripped back to like my roots, my 4 sessions. I'm a big believer in 4 sessions is all you need a week. So take my own advice. Training's been feeling good. It's the last week of the training block. And then I'm thinking before the end of the year, because in case you don't know, I'm going away for like 5.5 weeks at the end of this year. It's coming up so soon. And even though I do have the intention to train overseas, I'm actually really excited to try a few gyms overseas. I've got them jotted down, where and when and stuff. But my training's not going to be super consistent. And let's be real, I'll probably be having 2 workouts a week, sometimes if that. Like for some of our heavy travel weeks, I may not even train. So I'm not going to, when I'm training over those 5.5 weeks, it's just going to be like free training, what I feel like doing, what's available at the gym. Maybe I'll go to a random like Barry's class. That's what I want to do in LA. If you follow people from LA, Barry's. So yeah, that's not going to be super consistent. Moral of the story, guys, fuck, I rave over shit. Up until the time I go away, I'm going to knuckle in. I've got 7 weeks or something. No, I must have longer than that. I must have 8 weeks. I'm going to try and hit a bench press and a back squat PB. I think that's my goal I've set for the end of the year. Hear it here first. I'm thinking, let's put some numbers out there. Let's really, really talk shit here. But bench press, I'd love to do 60 for 3. Now, some of my strong queens are probably listening to this and be like, Liv, you can't bench 60. And I'm like, I just can't. 57, I'll do a few reps. You put on 60, I just squish myself. So I think I've benched it for 2 reps consistently, like one after the other previously, not in a while. That's the goal for that. And then back squat, I've back squatted 120 before, I think. 115 or 120. Look, I don't even really know, but we've got to be sensible with the back for the back squat. So let's just say if I could do 3 reps at 100 or more, I'll probably be happy with. It probably should be over 100. I feel like I could back squat 80, 90. I could probably back squat 90 maybe for 5 at the moment, let's say. Maybe that's shooting a bit too high, but that's the goal. Back squat and bench press. My new program starts next week and that's going to be the goal. I'm going to keep my core and my cardio focuses in those days. But anyway, this episode is, I'm raving on. That's my high for the week. My low for the week is I've got this weird eye infection. Visibly, you can't see it as much anymore. It was quite red the past 2 weeks. I've had some eye drops, but it's still pissing me off. So I'm going to go to the optometrist tomorrow. Hopefully they can do something for me because it feels fine sometimes. And the next time my eye feels like it's drooping. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Anyway, I'm swearing a lot today. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee and then we're going to talk about my recommendation. Which, again, I slightly thought, shit, this coffee's good. And what I wanted to recommend was making your own coffee. I know, what a lame recommendation. But, guys, I honestly make all my coffees. I hardly buy coffee out. If anything, it'd be maybe once a week. Or at the moment, which I really love, after Run Club, some of us go for coffee and I have a coffee then. after Uncle on Friday. And it's a very like social outing for me, so I like that. So maybe that's my one cup. But some people buy coffees every single day. That's fine. If you want to do that, you want to spend your money there, do it. But like, I'm recommending coffee at home. Learn how to make it how you like it. Buy the milk you like. Buy sweetness that you like. This iced latte, I'm not fussy, so people probably hate this. Instant coffee, those little beady things, put it in there. Sweetener, put it in. I don't measure it. Nate doesn't like that because he likes to measure his. And then maybe like half water, some ice cubes, and then like top it up with milk until it's the right flavour, depending on how much you put of the coffee in. And that's it. And then it's delicious. So I'm definitely a sweetener girl with my iced coffee at home because then I feel like it's a bit like, ugh. But yeah, literally save yourself so much money. Coffee is so expensive at the moment. If you're buying coffee every day out, I don't know how these people are affording it. Like, I just could never. Anyway, let's get into this episode, team. Okay, guys. So today's topic is talking about it's not all about your body image. And this is talking in relation to your health and fitness goals. Now, this has sort of come up because we're currently doing our 8-week challenge. And to note, these next few episodes are going to have some relation to our 8-week challenge. But when we've done challenges in the past, everyone, like nearly every single person, like sort of has in their goal list to lose body fat, to essentially get smaller. Their goal is to get smaller, let's say. But within that goal, they also want to like hit PBs in the gym. They want to get more muscle mass. They want to have more energy. Like there's lots of other goals that they have as well where they've also thrown in the goal, which potentially could be their main goal, to lose body fat, get smaller, whatever. When you don't realize that like your body doesn't want to be in a state of losing body fat. Like that is, your body's working really hard in that state to do that process. So we can't be our best self when we're in the deficit phase of our life. And therefore we can't be there all of the time. So people are always, they come into the gym with the goal to lose weight. But if that is your goal for 7 years straight, every single day, it's super draining, it's super unmotivating, and we can't do it forever. So we need to know other ways to motivate ourselves and have other goals when it's just not all about our body image, because our health is so much more than the way we look. So I've written a little ramble here and I'm going to read it off so that I don't ramble to you guys. So when most people start their health and fitness journey, the focus is often on how they look, dropping a few kilos, changing their shape, or fitting into certain clothes, ... And while there's nothing wrong with wanting to look and feel your best, the truth is, if that's the only reason you train, it can be easy to lose motivation, burn out, or feel like you're never enough. And that's why this conversation is important. That's why I brought it up, okay? Health and fitness goes far beyond your body image. It's about how you feel, how you move, what your body can do, and the habits you build along the way. So over these next few points, I'm going to ramble on to you guys. We're going to talk about how our training and how health and fitness journey also affects us mentally. It affects us physically in terms of like performing and agility and mobility. And it affects our lifestyle, like our day-to-day, everyday things, energy, stress levels, everything, okay? And like, don't get me wrong. When I first started, a lot of my goal was also about body image. And, you know, I have never really been that crazy different of a size to what I am now, if I'm going to be honest. I have been bigger and I have been smaller by a good few kilos, but nothing like really, really, really different. But for a while there, that was a lot of my goal, you know, and a lot of my nutrition would reflect that, getting like, you know, skinny teas and fat burners and all the things that I thought were going to help me, you know, feel my best and look my best and all these sorts of things. But I've, over time, really changed my mindset to love the body that I'm in, but also I think I've just also become more educated as to the importance of having a healthy body. And I think, like, even me talking about my training before, at the beginning of the year and potentially overtraining. And over that time, I have become demotivated. I've became injured. My stress levels has increased. My recovery has been worse. Maybe on the outside to people, it's like, wow, Liv. And to be honest, when I was doing Hyrox, I actually lost a bit of weight, training, doing so much cardio, completely unintentionally. And people will probably think, wow, Liv, you're doing so well with your training. But little did they know that potentially the things you think is what you need to do is not what you need to do. Maybe you're not doing things for the right goal. And maybe my Hyrox example wasn't like the greatest example because maybe I was unintentionally losing weight, but maybe it was a sign I probably needed to recover better and eat better over that period of time. But yeah, I think I know better that if I want to be my best self, I need to be fueling my body. I need to be giving my body what it wants, and I need to be functional. I need to be recovering, stretching, all the things. So I don't know why we're talking about me again. Like I really need to stop doing that. So I want to talk to you guys more about how you can reframe your mindset to potentially not be as focused on body image. And there's nothing wrong with having a body image goal, like nothing wrong with that at all. But this is more in the terms that if all the time you're in the gym is just to get skinnier, we need to also have other goals, or we need to know when we go in and out of those phases in our life. So I've got, I think, like 6 different points I'm going to talk about. 7. So let's get into it. Let's have a sip of this iced coffee because it's slaying. And then I'm going to go train up to this team. So and this is my afternoon pre-coffee, you know? So first thing is reframing your why. So starting to turn your, I guess, mindset right within the gym, again, that's what we're talking about, to be a little bit more of rather than how I look to how I feel. Because again, if we're in a deficit all of the time, there's no way you're going to feel like your best self. Okay, you are going to feel if you're doing it correctly, you are going to feel exhausted and you are going to feel drained and you're going to feel tired and you're going to feel hungry and you're not going to be feeling strong in the gym and stuff like that. So we need to have periods of times where we feel strong and we feel energized, and we feel fueled and all these sorts of things. And then also, like in terms of our mindset, remembering that we can't do this forever and we need to learn to live healthily in a sustainable way. Like that is a task in itself, okay? Training for other goals that aren't just physical outcomes or physique outcomes has mental health benefits. Like exercising is so good for us, right? It helps with our stress levels, our anxiety, our mood management. It boosts our confidence. It helps us build resilience, helps us feel accomplished. Like we get all of these feelings from training, and when we're training well and we're training hard and we're training with purpose. And that comes from training properly as well. So I guess when you have that goal in the gym, maybe we start, following a training plan and we're tracking your weights and we're seeing the weights go up and we're trying to fuel our sessions, and, you're stepping into the gym with a goal for that session. Today I'm going to try and, push the 12.5s in my shoulder press or whatever it is. That all comes with that mental benefit. It might be a small thing that you've pushed one extra weight, but you came in with the intention, you pushed the weight, and then therefore you can have a better of the day, right? Potentially, and this is why, like, again, off topic, but it's why I love strength training so much, because we are able to have goals like this and push ourselves in these sorts of way, where if we're just doing continuous cardio all the time and people think, oh yeah, I'm burning so much fat, blah, 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 blah. You may be burning calories. You actually can burn more calories doing a strength session. So just because you're sweating doesn't mean anything. But like, who wants to go in to every single session and flog themselves for half an hour, hate it, and then walk out and have no muscle? Like, that sounds disgusting if you ask me. Our next little step is actually having a specific performance-based goal. Is going to help you sort of step away from having a physique-based goal. So this might be that you have a competition you sign up for, like your Hyrox or your running or something like that, or a strength competition like a powerlifting meet or whatever. Or maybe even you have like Saturday netball. Like so many of our girls at the gym play Saturday netball, and to be fair, a lot of people get injured on netball on weekends because they don't really train like an athlete, but they want to perform like an athlete. Why don't over that season, rather than your goal being weight loss, let's be to perform at our best. Let's make sure that we're fueling our gym sessions, we're fueling for netball, we're having good recovery between, we're doing those strength training, we're doing that impact training, all these sorts of things. And that be your goal for that season of the year, right? That's the goal. Play the best you can. Why not? If you're already doing something, even if it's for quote unquote fun, why not commit to it and do it the best you can, sort of thing. So actually being able to set a goal and achieve that in terms of performance and actually see what your body's capable of. Like nothing better than testing yourself to the point to seeing what you're capable of. Even like me right now with my current gym goal, like I said, then I'm going to try and push my bench and my squat PB. That's to me see what I'm capable of right now. And that excites me. That actually makes me want to go squat in the gym today, even though I'm finishing this training block off and I'm doing stupid Bulgarian split squats up first. But that excites me already. It's got me ignited. And I made that goal last night laying in bed. It's a fresh goal, but already ignited. Now, having consistency in the gym, having goals in the gym, pushing yourself in the gym, having intensity, it's all going to build healthy habits for life. So we don't want our habits all to be built around losing body fat, right? Like I just said, we can't do that forever. So we need to have habits in place for us to be able to do this health thing, this training thing, this fitness thing forever. Because don't you want to be 80 years old and be that person and be like, wow, your granddad does, is so fit. He's still able to, get off the chair and he's walking around and blah, blah, blah. That's the biggest flex if you ask me, right? So, building our habits like our sleep, our nutrition, our daily movement, all the things that we work on in our challenge. I'm like, what does this even word say? Oh, how? I thought it said hour. I should really write Nita, shouldn't I? And our improvement of daily habits helps improve our bigger picture and potentially helps you also lose body fat. A lot of times when we start to shift our goals to other things, we actually can be more committed and we can actually end up losing body fat. Like I just said with my Hyrox training, I sort of knuckled in. I was probably training too much, but I ended up losing body fat just because I was not dialed in to a performance goal, right? It doesn't always have to be about that body image for you to get good results. And results in general come from consistency, not perfection. So that's why we've got to build those habits that we can do day in, day out without failure. Now, the dangers of over-focusing on body image. And again, we're referring to the thought of focusing on your body image every single day that you're training. Almost like you're punishing yourself for training. Like, get in there and smash it, so that you can be skinnier. Like that feeling, right? Geez, that must be exhausting. But it leads to obsession. It can lead to disordered eating and disordered training as well. Unrealistic expectations, burnout, quitting, and completely giving up. And to be honest, a lot of the time, if you've been in this headspace for a long period of time, me saying all these things probably isn't going to do too much for some of you, and potentially you do need to seek help or seek out. Maybe not seek help is the right word, but assistance, from a professional. And us at Live Strong have, recently found Scarlett Gray, who is a dietitian who we've been working with, and she's been helping a lot of our girls who have maybe struggled with similar things like this for a long time. And, obviously she's a dietitian, so she works with not just people on their general nutrition, but also people with health conditions and we can call disordered eating a health condition as well. So, it's not as easy fix as I'm sort of saying here, but I guess it's important to know that it's not normal to have that goal every single day of the year for years on end. And if that is maybe you, then maybe this is where you need to think about, how can that change? If you sort of start setting other goals and trying to thinking about how you're feeling rather than how you're looking and all these sorts of things, and nothing's really changing, well, maybe we need to seek out from someone else. A really important one, which I think is important times two, that you need to go through different seasons of your life. And this is where you can successfully commit to a deficit, is when we do commit for a period. We need to start and we need to end. And we need that because, one, we will then be more committed if we're like, we're doing this for 8 weeks, we're doing this for 12 weeks, whatever it is. But we then have a goal, we have a deadline, and then we can return back to maintenance. We can then shift our goals. And I think that's how I sort of see my training year a lot of the time, is I'm going through highs and lows. And I only ever have a deficit phase if I've got a specific goal to look a specific way for a specific reason. Over the past few years, so like I did my bodybuilding show, 2022, August, and then November 2023, we had our engagement party, and I went into a deficit for the engagement party, and then we got married at the beginning of this year, 2025, and I did a deficit into that. They're like my deficit phases I've done, but they're both obviously driven for the wedding. And at this stage, like for the rest of this year, I don't see myself going into a deficit. Well, I won't. And next year, I don't know what's happening next year with me, but like they've always been goal driven. And then I come out of it. Like the wedding happened, we've come out of it, we've had performance goals. And maybe you don't even have that specific of a goal, but we're able to eat at maintenance. We're not tracking our calories. We're just nourishing our body. We're still hitting our protein. We're still doing all these things, but we're doing it in a way that is maintainable and sustainable and feels good for us, right? So going in and out of phases. So those who are doing our challenge right now, and maybe your goal is to lose body fat, that is so fine. We're in it for 8 weeks. Maybe 8 weeks isn't long enough for some people, and I do also believe that maybe 12 weeks is maybe a better spot to sit for a full commitment into a deficit. Not that you can't get results in 8 weeks, and I think a lot of people find 8 weeks of commitment in enough time. But let's say you extended it another 4 weeks. That wouldn't be the end of the world. But then after that, maybe we go to maintenance. And maybe you only go to maintenance for like another 8 weeks and you go back into a deficit. That's fine. But we've gone through those phases. We've changed our goal, because you can't do everything at once and you can't be in a deficit forever. Okay? You can't be in a deficit forever. And if you think that you can be in a deficit forever, like a few things are probably happening. Probably you're not in a deficit. Like you're probably actually, like a lot of people might think, oh, well, I've been restricting my eating, but they probably blow out on the weekend. Like a lot of people, that's what a lot of people think. Or they could be under eating and they could be putting themselves into a disordered eating phase. Or unfortunately, your body's going to shut down. There are so many females that end up with hormonal problems, potentially even like as severe as not being able to conceive a child from disordered eating, of eating in a deficit for a long period of time when they were younger. And I know that sounds really extreme, and I'm not trying to scare anyone, but if you're eating in a deficit all year long, you don't understand the actual damage you could be having to your body. So, I'm here to tell you, we're not in a deficit all year long. We're going to fuel for our training. We're going to feel good in the gym. We're going to have energy. We're going to do all those things. And my last little point is to celebrate your wins. Celebrate your other wins. Like set a goal in the gym and have a bloody good time when you've done it. Like tell your coach, this training block, I'm going to try and do this. Is that realistic? Ask him, tell him what you've been doing, tell him your training plan, and bloody go kill it. When it's done, enjoy it. Celebrate. You're going to have improvements in different areas of your life, and they all should be celebrated. Not just losing weight, okay? Not just losing weight. There's so much more to health and fitness. And I think this goes into reality to people when they do get injured and when they do get sick and, unfortunate things happen. And then you take all of your health for granted, So we've got to remember that we want to be a healthy human. We want to be a capable human, and that should be our number one priority. And to do that, we can't be in a deficit forever. I hope, guys, that has given you maybe a little bit of insight, a kick up the butt, maybe just something to think about. And like I said, it's not as easy as said as done. One thing, I don't remember when I first started to get into fitness, like when I was younger, a few Aussie influencers I used to listen to, Ashley Bynes, Sophie Gwendolyn or something, her last name is, and Chantel Duncan. They're all Aussie mums now. So random story here. But look, I don't believe everything they say, but they always have talked a lot about like being healthy and stuff. And to be honest, they're all probably on fat burners and chicks. They're pretty lean. But, and by fat burners, I mean probably illegal fat burners. But moral of my story here, one of those back in the day said that your body will never be anyone else's body, and you've got to love that. And I think about that all the time. Like, you look at other people's legs, let's say, like for me, like I don't have the smallest legs in the world. Sometimes I think, wouldn't it be nice to have like nice, long, slender legs, you know, give model vibes, where I'm like walking around like Quadzilla half the time. But like, I'm like, no, actually, my like beefy ass, muscly quads, like I bloody love, and I rep them with pride. Like, shit, yeah, I've built those legs. Like, damn, I've worked hard in the gym for these legs, you know, and geez, I'm capable to do a lot of things with them, and that's okay. Or like, you know, you pick yourself apart, like, you know, I've got like pimples on my face today, or, you know, I'm breaking out, or whatever the thing is. And it's like, what's positive is going to come from you hating on that? Like, literally just hating yourself for it. Nothing's going to come from it. So you've got to learn to like or love the things that make you different, and your body. You will literally never be anyone else. Like, you will not be anyone else. Put that in your head. That person you're looking at on Instagram, you will not be them, ever. Never, ever, ever will you be that person. You are yourself, and that is all you can be. Yes, you can improve yourself. You can work on yourself. You can work on your own self-confidence. But if you are forever comparing yourself to other people and wishing that you looked like them and had their body parts and you just were them, you're forever letting yourself down, because you cannot be anyone else but yourself, and you've got to learn to love that. So yeah, I think remembering that every now and then, you know, you're amazing the way you are, and you actually don't have to change. You know, you don't have to change. You don't have to be skinnier. You don't have to have more muscle. Like, well, maybe you have to have more muscle if, like, you know, you're a bit brittle or something. But you know what I mean? Like, and again, with losing body fat, again, I'll sort of put a quote unquote on that. Maybe you need to lose body fat for a health reason. You know, maybe your doctor has requested you to lose weight. That is something that you need to do for yourself, and that's so fine. But talking in general terms, you're okay the way you are. You're okay the way you are. It's fine. You know, I love you for the way you are. You should love you for the way you are. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there, because that was just a nice little bow, wasn't it? Have a beautiful week, team. I'll see you next week for another podcast. Catch ya.